Alright, welcome. This video is why your goals stay on a piece of paper. So before we get into the video, for those of you guys serious on your self-improvement and want to take it to the next level, or if you just want to be the best of the best at what you do, I'm creating a program called the Academy of Self-Mastery. If you'd like early access to it, you can go ahead and press the first link in the description, click the first link, and then go over to my Instagram. From there, you can just send me a DM asking for early access to the program. For those of you guys who ask for early access, I will just message you back and I'll say, hey man, great, I got you noted. And you will be the first to get the link to join the program, and you will also be able to join at a lower price than the official launch. So if that's something you're interested in, go ahead and click that first link. But now let's get into why your goals stay on a piece of paper. So when I set my first goals, right? When I set my goals for this year at least, I've always been setting goals for most of my self-improvement journey. But when I first set my real goals, the ones that I was actually going to commit everything to and make sure that I achieved, I actually made no progress for months. For months, I made actually no progress towards them, right? And the reason is because I wrote them down, but that was it. I wrote them down and then I went right back to doing what I was already doing. I'm going to go over exactly how you can not only write your goals down and have clear, concise goals that are actually actionable, but how you can take that and create a plan and a process and a protocol to achieve those goals. And so that's what I did. I realized I needed to break those goals down into a process, into a plan. And once I did that, and I just focused on the plan instead of focusing on the goals, I made so much more progress so much faster. So that's what I'm going to teach you guys in this video. Goals are great, but writing them down isn't the only thing you need to do in order to achieve them. The thing that you need to do to achieve your goals is to create a plan and a process and focus on the process. So the importance of having goals. The first reason why goals are so important is you just need to have direction, right? Direction is really important in your life, because if you don't have direction and you don't know where you're going, you will end up lost, you'll end up drifting, you'll end up trying to find easy pleasure, easy stimulation to substitute for that need for direction. The other thing is that growth is one of the most important things in your life. You need to be pursuing growth. You need to be pursuing progression, because that is what allows you to become this best version of yourself, and it is what allows you to keep yourself on a trajectory of positivity, of growth, of success and achievement, right? If you are not focused on growing and you are not allowing yourself to grow, you are dying. And therefore, growth is the only way to sustain life. Continuously evolving is the only way to sustain life. And you also just need things to work on, right? You need to have things to work on and a reason to pursue the goals that you're pursuing in the first place, right? If you don't have something to work on, what's the point? If you don't have something to work on, why even wake up? Why have all this energy? Why have life in you when there's nothing to actually work on and pursue? So the next section is why you never achieve your goals. You don't set them clear enough, right? If your goals are unclear, if your goals are general, are vague, you can't actually expect to progress towards them, because there's no clear objective to look to in order to see your progress for. Let's say I wanted to become a really good athlete, and that's the goal that I set. Well, that's not clear enough to define, and so I could say that I'm a really good athlete when I progress to the point of being an average athlete. Average is really good because most people aren't even at that level, right? So being able to just compete with everybody around me, well, that means I'm a really good athlete, right? Or does it mean that I have to be better than everybody else? Or does it mean that I have to have this certain amount of skill? Whatever it may be, you can't clearly objectify, or you can't clearly identify what that would look like, versus if I said, okay, I want to score 10 goals this season as a striker. That's something that you've clearly defined, that you can now look to and see, okay, that is a metric, that is a clear, measurable goal that I can go and achieve. Or if it's money related, instead of saying I want to be rich, you could say I want to make 10K a month, I want to make 50K a month, I want to make 100K a month. And the next thing is you just get distracted too often. When you have goals, great, perfect. Always try to have goals. But if you have goals and you're always getting distracted and you can't stay focused on them, or if you have a plan and a process and a routine and you're not able to stay consistent with it and stay focused on it, you're not actually going to be able to progress to the level that you want to. So learn how to manage distraction, right? And the best way to learn how to manage distraction is to just remove them, right? Just learn how to leave your phone in another room. I record on my phone, so that's an exception. But if you're not using your phone for work, learn how to leave it in another room. And, this isn't a flex. I don't get distracted very often. So there's not actually many things I'd have to hide from myself because I don't technically own anything that's a distraction to me. My phone is a work device. But let's say my laptop was distracting. I have my laptop next to me because one of the videos I just recorded was a script I did on my laptop. So I have it out. Let's say I really, really, really want to watch YouTube on that laptop. What I would do is I would simply take the laptop and I would put it in the room next to me. I'd put it in the kitchen, or I'd put it back in my backpack and zip it up. So regardless, I'm putting it somewhere where I A, can't see it, and B, have to apply effort to actually go and retrieve it, right? So if I want to remove a distraction so I can focus on work, make it easier to continue working. Let's say right now I'm recording this video. I'm in the middle of a video. It would be harder for me to turn off the video, go into the kitchen, or go into my room, or go into my backpack, open it up, pull my laptop out, bring it back out here, take away all of my recording setup and get that stuff put away just so I can open the laptop, open YouTube, find a video, and then watch a YouTube video. That takes a lot more work than it's even worth at that point, right? Versus if I didn't have anything going recording and I was thinking, I gotta record, I gotta work, but my laptop's right here and I kind of want to watch a video instead. Maybe I'll just watch a video that'll help, motivate me to work, right? And you go on and you watch your video, whatever. It's much easier to do it because it's available for you. And you just want to make these distractions unavailable, or not even unavailable. Think of the simple example of me putting it in my backpack. That just takes extra steps. That makes it easier for me to just continue working on the video, just stay in my flow right here. And so the other thing is just like losing the vision in your mind, right? Because you become mentally distracted. When you become mentally distracted, this is where meditation and awareness comes in, learning to identify that and then redirect your attention back to what is important. And the last thing is, if you don't have a routine or a proper plan to get there, how do you expect to progress in that direction? You need to have a routine, you need to have a plan, you need to have a process for how you're going to achieve these goals if you want to actually go and do it. So from the goal, you clearly define the goal first, but then from the goal, you have to create a plan, an action plan, or a daily routine that if you followed for 6 months or a year or however long you expect to take to achieve your goal, if you followed through on it consistently for an extended period of time, you would reach your goal or beat or go beyond that goal, right? So that's the point. You want to be setting a routine, a plan, a process that would help you to not only definitely achieve your goal, but actually more likely than not end up beyond your goal. It's better to start a little bit further than where you'd set your sights for, because typically you will increase the goal once you hit it, at least as far as money goals goes. So if you progress a little bit further, technically you're just starting and making some progress and momentum for the next goal. And that's also the mindset you should have as far as goals go. You should always have this mindset of constantly looking for the next improvement, right? The moment I hit 10K in my business, I'm just going to change the number on my goal sheet to 50 and everything is going to stay the same. I'm going to keep working at it and I'm going to keep progressing and I'm going to keep, treating it just the same. I'm not going to take any time off. I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, I hit 10K. All right, now a month off. All right, we're done. No, of course not, right? You want to keep progressing. You want to keep going. And so making a plan and a process that will not only ensure you reach your goal, but actually make it easy to end up beyond your goal is perfect for this, right? And then how to actually set and achieve your goals. First thing is journal deeply about what you want. Spend time really journaling, really writing about just what you want generally, right? Just Write about the lifestyle that you want to live. Write about the person you want to become. Write about these things in such minute detail that you cannot help but create, an image or a process within you for how to get there. Make this image so clear that you cannot help but see a way to actually reach it and achieve it. And then figure out a clear and measurable objective that would bring you closer to that ideal. Once you figure out what that would look like, then what is the objective? What is a measurable objective that, if achieved, would manifest most of that vision, right? Most of that vision. It can, think about like 60 to 70% of that vision should be manifested just by this one goal alone. And that's why you set it as the goal, because it'll manifest most of the vision, and then, the rest of it is kind of up to you from that point. But you start with the big thing, which in most cases is money. If you achieve a certain amount of money in your business, that will achieve, 60 to 70% of most people's vision for their future. Not meaning that everything is about money, but for me, my vision of my future is based on how I live life as an athlete, my training style, and all of this stuff. And most of that, the foundation of that, is the kind of money that I'm making and how I'm making that money, right? And so that's probably the most important objective for actually achieving that goal. The other important objective would be to become to reach the skill level required to be an athlete at the level I'm looking to, right? So the thing is, I can become skilled, however, and not go anywhere because I don't have the money to afford travel and moving around, or I don't have the traction for it. But if I make the money, I can give myself access to the type of training that would then allow me to progress in my skills as well. So it's just a matter of, what is the thing that will make the most impact? Or maybe there are multiple things, and this just means focus on one of them at a time. Now write down your clearly defined goal. So from this, you have a goal clearly defined. Mine was, I need to make probably about $100K a month to sustain the lifestyle that I'm thinking about in my head, visualizing with my dream lifestyle. I would need to be making $100K a month, and my optimal is I'd be at like $500K a month, but just to live the basics of that lifestyle, just to be in that space, in that field, living that frequency, living that lifestyle, $100K a month is a stable income. So that's my goal. That's what I write down as my goal, $100K a month from the Academy of Self-Mastery, right? Because that's my program. That's what I'm releasing. So technically, if I was writing that down, that's what I would say. I'd say $100K a month, selling my community on YouTube. All right. Clarify, make it clear, make it obvious what you're doing. Because then, now I can say, okay, that makes sense. I'm going to make a bunch of content for YouTube, build a good following on YouTube, and while making that content, I'm going to make sure that it's content specifically catered towards the type of people who would be interested in a self-improvement program, meaning I make self-improvement content, and then within those videos, I say, hey guys, if anybody wants to take their self-improvement to the next level, I have a program for you. And so those who are interested can take the program, and those who are not interested get to watch the content. And everybody wins as a result of that. But the main thing is I win because I understand that this is my process to achieving my goal. Is I make the content, I make the courses for the program, I build the program, and I tell people about the program. Now everything's all together. Now everything's all together. This is a clear process. This is a clear plan that I can now achieve because I was able to clearly define what my goal is. If I set 10K a month, I could say, okay, I could work this job, and then I could stack it with this job, and then I could also try to start a business on the side, and I could do this, that, and the third. And it's just kind of confusing at that point. Versus, I will make 100K a month from my specific business doing this, and then therefore I can define it that way. I'm making 100K a month from the Academy of Self-Mastery, selling it through YouTube, and therefore what that means is I'm going to create YouTube content that will advertise my program, and then I will develop and grow my program from there. And so once you've clearly defined your goal, you can now actually develop a plan and a process to do so. And that is the next thing, is you set daily action steps to achieve your goal. So what does this mean? Set daily action steps. What are these? These are non-negotiables. These are daily steps, processes that you can go through to achieve your goal. So what do I mean by this? With my business, it is deep work on content creation. There are specific tasks that will move the needle forward in your business. And if you focus on those, right, set these daily objectives. So my daily objective, every single day, I create content. Whatever the scale is, whatever this, it's whatever. This is my third video out of 6, and I'm recording 6 in the whole day in this one work block, whereas most days I record 1, right? So it just depends on you, but at the very least, I record that 1. And obviously I'm recording because I'm going on a trip. I'm recording extra to make up for that, but the point with this is that you essentially need to set daily steps, and then those will change and adapt based on the workload. But just, okay, if I get content out every single day, I know that I'm progressing towards my goal. And then create a daily routine from that. So based on those steps, create a daily routine that optimizes for you to get the most important work done at the times where you can do it best, and also optimizes so that you have rest and recovery so that you are ready for the next work block, the next work bout, or the next day, right? So don't just fill your routine with a bunch of shit, idealized, but actually realistically make out a full routine that you can stick to each and every day. Start following it and then adjust and adapt it as you go. And so once you have this daily routine, it's just a matter of following through and staying consistent. If you can just stay consistent on this routine, you can all but guarantee that you will achieve your goals. But if you set these goals and you create these routines and you do all of this work and then just put it all to the side and don't actually follow through, you can't expect to achieve your goals. So that is all I have for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, go ahead and leave a like and leave a comment down below. Letting me know what you may have learned from this video. I'm always curious to see what you guys gained. And if you want to see more content like this, go ahead and subscribe. For those serious on their self-improvement who want to take it to the next level and access the Academy of Self-Mastery before it's live, go ahead and send me a DM on Instagram. But that is all I have for you guys, and I'm out of here. Peace.